watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello and welcome to Entertaining Germantown. I'm your host, Parke Kennedy, and I'm here to tell you about some really special arts and entertainment events coming up in April. I have several wonderfully talented individuals to introduce you to today. We'll talk to Stephen McMahon of Ballet Memphis about the upcoming Peter Pan, Lawrence Blackwell of Hattiloo Theater about hosting the National Black Box Theater Festival, and Justin Fox Burks, a local celebrity cookbook author of the Chubby Vegetarian, who is lending his culinary talents to the 2018 GPAC Gala. With me now is Stephen McMahon, Associate Artistic Director of Ballet Memphis. Hi, Stephen, welcome.
Hey, Park, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming. I know you've been super busy at Ballet Memphis and traveling and so much going on. We have so little time here on the show.
Yeah.
I wish we could cover everything, but let's focus on Peter Pan.
Sure.
So Ballet Memphis is, I don't know what you call it, when you've had a show that you did once, you're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back.
Peter Pan that debuted in
2014.
And we'll talk about what a huge part of it you were.
Sure.
So the show's coming back, and it's in April,
Yep.
6th, 7th, and 8th, and we'll go over that
At
again.
the Orpheum?
Yes, at the Orpheum. So tell us about Peter Pan. I hear you have a really special connection to the story.
Yeah, I do. When I grew up in Scotland, and I was part of a local theater, a community theater group for children, and I did a workshop with Scottish Ballet that was based around Peter Pan, and I got to see Peter Pan performed by Scottish Ballet when I was about 10 years old, and that's how I started dancing.
Just inspired
And so it was just something that I'd never seen before. When I saw it on the stage, it was like this language was being kind of revealed to me that I had to kind of understand, and so I've always kind of kept that kind of close to me throughout my career as a dancer and now as a dance maker. And so when I had the idea that I would choreograph Peter Pan, I took it to Dorothy Gunther-Pugh, the artistic director of Ballet Memphis, and said, "Hey, can we make this happen?" Because I think it's a story that holds up still after it's over 100 years old now. And we got to do that, and I got to work with some really creative, super talented scenic designers, lighting designers, costume designers. It was probably the biggest production that Ballet Memphis had ever done.
And I was reading that it took years to kind of, you had this amazing vision, but it was so big, it took a while to kind of put it all together to fully execute it the way that you wanted.
I think we started talking about it, and from the beginning of speaking about it till it being on the stage took about 2 years. From me, just finding the music alone took me about 9 months. And I worked with a Tony Award-winning scenic designer, Beowulf Borrett, who designed the sets, and that the process of doing that just is a long, lengthy process. He'll draw things, send them to me. I'll say, "Oh, not so much this," or "Let's go this direction," and then it keeps doing that until. And it's the same with the costume designer as well.
And you haven't even gotten to the choreography at this point.
No, the choreography is the last thing that happens.
Last thing that happens.
I think I choreographed it in about 6 weeks total. So I'd been all this work on the front, and then I got to work on the choreography, and then we performed it. And there's the pretty special thing about Peter Pan is that there's flying in Peter Pan.
Right, the flying.
You can't forget about the flying.
The flying is key.
And there's lots of ways to do that. There's many companies that specialize in theatrical flying, but I didn't want people pulling on ropes. And I wanted 5 dancers to fly at the same time, which was a big thing to ask of this company that we worked with, who are called ZFX. They're based in Louisville, and they're at the top of the game of theatrical flying. And they came in and with an automated system that is programmed, and they push buttons and everything moves. And yeah, we flew 5 dancers.
So only at the Orpheum, or can it go other places?
It can go anywhere. It can go anywhere. And so one of the things I'm really excited about this time around is when we did it the last time, we actually had to rent space because you need height.
Oh, but you have it now.
Now at our new building,
At your new building.
And so if you're around Cooper and Madison in the next few weeks, you're going to see dancers flying a lot.
Because you can watch the rehearsals.
You can watch the rehearsals.
And you guys can actually rehearse the flying
in our building.
Could,
yeah,
wow.
we're really looking forward to that, and we're going to design some special events around that that'll be on our website. But I'm just really excited to get to go back to the choreography this time. Last time there were so many moving parts to it that I was looking at a lot of things, and now I get to just work on reworking the dance and making sure the narrative is strong, and that's always a fun thing for a choreographer to get to go back and do that.
Yeah, because you get to tweak it, and you've seen how it works, and you have some new dancers.
Absolutely,
so it's not the same team as back in 2014.
No, there's more. So we're going to add some parts to it, and it's always good to work. You know, I try and work with the talent that I have, and so we'll work it to suit them. But the story is so fun, and it's so visually stunning, and you know, it's just really special. It's a really special thing for us.
And with the flying mechanism that you have now, you can do more dancing in the air, so to speak, not so much just swooshing across the stage.
I mean,
really
that's a great question. From the get-go, as soon as I decided I wanted to have flying, I wanted to make it not just, up and down. There's a solo for Peter himself, and he tumbles and he spins and he can drag on the floor. It's pretty remarkable.
How hard is that?
Well, they tell me it's pretty hard. I tried out the harness once, and I was like, that's enough.
You're like, okay, this is
it's
good. You guys.
But then when they go up there, I
can
can say, can you try and do this? And they'd be like, I'll try. But the possibilities are, they're pretty, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that they can do. Dancers are used to jumping, so they get, when gravity is kind of removed,
gives a little lift, right?
It's amazing, the things, and they get so excited. They're a little nervous to begin with, but they get really into it.
Yeah, wonderful.
They really do.
And so, apart from the possibility of watching some of this flying happening in rehearsal at Ballet Memphis, in Cooper Young, or in Midtown, there's going to be a community day, I'm told.
There is. I believe it's March 23rd or 24th, whichever that Saturday is. There will be a community day, and there'll be activities for children. There'll be an open rehearsal, so you'll get to see the dancers fly. We might even fly some kids.
Oh, maybe if they're good.
If they're good.
If they behave.
We did a thing like that the last time around, and so it was really successful. I think there's something about our audience being able to see dance as it's being made. It kind of breaks that wall that dance is only allowed to be viewed when we tell you it is.
Right. They can see it
come
and
come and see how it happens and how much time and energy and dedication it takes to produce a show.
And it's for free.
It's for free.
All right, so Peter Pan, April 6th through 8th, the Orpheum Theater.
Yep.
Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 2, and 7:30, Sunday at 2. Yep. Go to balletmemphis.org for tickets.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
I'm so glad to be here,
Appreciate
Thank
you coming on the show.
Anytime.
It's time for a short break. When we come back, I'll be talking to Lawrence Blackwell of Hattiloo Theater.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. That's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Entertaining Germantown. Joining me now is Lawrence Blackwell, Director of Programs for Hattiloo Theater. Welcome, Lawrence.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you on the show and happy to meet you for the first time.
Yes.
Yes, so you were telling me earlier that you've been at Hattiloo full-time now for
about a year and a half.
About a year and a half.
Yes, I've had the opportunity to direct about 7 shows with them over the last 7 years, but had my hands on for about the last year and a half.
Yeah, and lots going on at Hattiloo and tremendous growth in the past 6 or 7 years since the company.
Ekundayo Bendele, the CEO and founder, started it on Marshall Street, and 3 years ago we were able to move onto Cooper, help develop that arts district right there, Ballet, Memphis, Playhouse, Circuit Theater, so really has a nice, wonderful arts flair down there in Overton now.
It absolutely does, and in the last 3 years, just with the programming, I mean, way beyond just theater, but all kinds of sort of ancillary education type programming and other events, really bringing the community and getting the community involved in what you're doing and the story you're telling.
One of the wonderful things about working at Hattiloo is we are driven by the question, why not Memphis? A lot of the things that we create, the programming, is helping to bridge not only communications within our communities in Memphis, but to really give Memphis a national recognition in the arts. One of the things we've had the pleasure of welcoming is Katori Hall, our new artistic director. Katori is a unique individual who is a playwright who's had 3 plays on Broadway in the last 3 years, and she's from Memphis. So really we are advocating, why not us? Why not Memphis? How can we expand that national dialogue? And to that end, we have our National Black Box Festival, which is coming up at the end of this month. And we're in our 2nd year with that.
And you are the founders of this festival.
Last year was our kickoff. We partnered with Rhodes, Overton Park, Brooks Museum, Civil Rights Museum, and what we did was help to create a national dialogue by bringing artists from across the country to speak about issues, actually perform about their issues in their communities. We had Antonio Lyons perform, we had Debbie Morgan, who is on, I want to say, Young and the Restless from a few years ago, do her one-woman show. We brought in playwrights Lydia Diamond, producer Woody King Jr., who is one of the first African-American producers in Broadway. So we really were able to bring a lot of talent here to Memphis to help our artists understand that it is possible.
So it's a 3-day festival.
It's a 5-day festival.
5-day festival.
This year we're changing it a little bit because of MLK 50.
Right.
So instead of taking the leadership role in this, we are really helping to support that message that's going out right now. So what we're doing this year is we've commissioned 3 artists to look at civil rights or social rights activists here in Memphis. We're looking at it through education, religion, and politics. The 3 artists actually went out and interviewed certain activists, and they created their own unique performance
Memphis
pieces.
activists?
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically?
It's very specific to Memphis because we are supporting the MLK 50. So they've created a complete dance program, a theatrical program, and a musical program. So we will be performing those every night, Tuesday through Thursday, March 28th through the 30th at Hattiloo Theater. Prior to each one of those performances, we are doing panel discussions to really try and bridge that communication. Now, the other part of that, which is wonderful, we're also producing The Mountaintop. The Mountaintop was written by Katori Hall. It was recently on Broadway with Samuel Jackson, I believe, and Angela Bassett. This production is coming here to us being directed by Roger Guinevere Smith, who was on HBO with his one-man show, Stokely Carmichael, plenty of other performances. So he's bringing a new spin. And what's wonderful about this, and really advantageous at this moment, is it really identifies us with Dr. King. to help us expand. Why not us? Where do we belong in this conversation? How do we continue to move forward? Traditionally, our plays about MLK are looking at his activism. What is he doing? This play takes a unique spin and looks at him as a human being with his faults, because we already know he was able to accomplish so much. But it really humanizes him so that we can also pick up that baton, that we don't have to say we have to be something other than who we are, that each person can move the needle.
That's a powerful message, and you in Hattiloo is infusing that message throughout all of your programming, the things that you do with youth and your theater education programs and some of the dialogues that you have, talkbacks after shows. There's a lot that you weave into all of this. Now this performance, when is that? Is that in conjunction with the National
It is
Festival?
In conjunction. It's at the Halloran Center starting March 29th and runs through April 1st, Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And those tickets are available at Ticketmaster.
Okay.
Plug.
Yeah.
But that is at the Halloran Center. All of our other performances are at our theater on Cooper.
So you will have busy times.
We do, and one of the unique things that we bring also, we're bringing in Deanna Griffin Irons from Second City. Second City is an improv troupe, and everybody that you see on Saturday Night Live comes through Second City. So what she's coming down is to teach classes in how to use improv for social activism. How do you give voice without doing all of the formal theater training? So we're really excited about what's coming up this month.
That should be fun. Now, how do you get to see something like that? Are those you buy a ticket, or do you have to kind of be part of the whole festival?
That is on Saturday and Sunday, and that is open to community.
Wow. So she's going to do 2 sessions.
I am bringing her in for 2 sessions, yes.
2 sessions. Well, you get your hands full. But what a great lineup, and it sounds like you're bringing in incredibly smart people from all over the country and telling a really great story and message, and just kudos to all that you're doing and handling. Y'all do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And it's just the beauty of this business, and as I said, I'm not a Memphian. When I got here, I did not realize how much opportunity was here, so it's a blessing to just be here and take this bull by the horns and see where it goes.
We're happy to have you. We've got to wrap up now, but thank you so much. It's time for another short break. When we come back, I'm going to chat with my friend Justin Fox Burks about the upcoming, not to be missed, 2018 GPAC Gala.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Entertaining Germantown. I'm delighted to have with me Justin Fox Burks, AKA the Chubby Vegetarian, and a participating cook in the upcoming 2018 GPAC Gala. So glad to have you on my show, Justin.
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, and thrilled to have you participating in the GPAC Gala.
Well, thanks for asking me. You know, I grew up in Germantown, so it's really cool to be asked to come back and cook for my town.
And show off your amazing talent. Before we get to the GPAC Gala, let's talk about you a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about me.
Let's talk about you. So, AKA the Chubby Vegetarian, How did all that come about?
So my wife and I started cooking together from the very beginning of our relationship. We went on our first date when she was 15, she was 14. So we'd always cooked together, and we decided a few years ago, 2008, that we would sort of share the things we were doing in our kitchen with a wider audience. So we posted a picture of our dinner. That's it.
Simple.
We posted a picture of our dinner on a blog, and people started asking for the recipe. And it really kind of weirdly snowballed from there. We had so little intention with this. We just kind of listened to the universe to sound a little bit hippie, but we were making dishes that resonated with people, and so we started writing down the recipes, and here we are, 2018 with 2 cookbooks.
2 cookbooks later, and do you still do the blog?
We still do the blog.
Called The Chubby Vegetarian?
Called The Chubby Vegetarian at thechubbyvegetarian.com. We've been on the Food Network. We've been asked to cook at the James Beard House. It's really kind of a crazy ride for 2 people who didn't go to culinary school, but have a real passion for cooking and for cooking healthfully and trying to get vegetables onto people's plates.
So that's the focus, the vegetables on people's plates, but it's also, they're beautiful, right? The end result is beautiful, so it's very, very appealing. And in the second cookbook, you've really kind of expanded and gone and sort of looked around the world.
That's right.
At different sort of culinary styles and themes, and now we have this.
Yeah, here there.
Beautiful.
So the first book has become kind of a classic now, because there's really not much like it. The Southern Vegetarian. This thing lives on and sells like crazy, and we're so happy that it does.
So what's that? Is that cornbread or what is
cornbread?
Cornbread.
Who doesn't love cornbread in a cast iron skillet?
That's awesome.
And so that was the first idea, and we were really looking inward. We were both from Mississippi. I was born in Greenwood. She was born in Jackson. We both grew up here in Germantown. So Southern roots, but with a focus on vegetables. And we like to say a focus on vegetables is vegetable forward rather than being meatless, which sounds kind of sad, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing without something.
The glass half empty, half
exactly.
full. Yeah,
so we don't take our dishes and go eat them in a corner somewhere. What we do is we make things that are delicious, that can be shared with everybody. So we want to bring everybody to the table. We want to share these with people who are vegetarian and people who aren't. We have tons of things that are gluten-free and vegan, and so we try and find delicious sort of solutions to a lot of people's dietary restrictions so they don't feel restricted.
And you're going to come to the GPAC Gala on April 7th at beginning at 6:30.
That's right.
And you're going
I'll
to
probably be there much earlier.
You'll probably be there a little earlier. Yeah, I hope so. And you're going to join some other local celebrity chefs in sort of doing some interactive demonstration kind of hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. So hopefully we'll get to see one of these.
Yeah, you'll definitely get to see one of those. So we'll be a part of the first section, which will be sort of the cocktail hour. My favorite part of any party.
Absolutely.
And we'll be cooking in front of people. We'll be assembling dishes. We'll be cooking alongside some of our favorite people. Chef Ryan Trim will be there doing oysters.
Which is his specialty.
It is, and I don't know if you know him, but there isn't a nicer guy on the planet, and he is he's just generous and so much fun to work with. We work together at his restaurant. He's served lots of our dishes, and we just love him to death. And Brad Pitts, I know, will be doing a cocktail.
Brad Pitts, who's now the in-house resident mixologist at GPAC.
Never made a drink that I don't like. and another really just fine stand-up guy. I really like being around him and talking to him. He's a big music fan, so we rarely talk about drinks or food when we get together. We're talking about record collecting.
Yeah, he is. And he's a little bit of a photographer himself, too.
That's
so
right.
You have a lot in common with him.
Yes.
And then also joining you will be the
Simply Delicious.
Simply Delicious.
They're pulling fresh mozzarella
Which I don't even get how that happens, but
It's so cool. So there's curds, and they put it in warm water, and the curds melt. And mozzarella, the protein strings are pulled. So what they're doing underwater, which is kind of this little ballet with the hands, is they're pulling and shaping, and then they'll pull this warm, soft ball of mozzarella, usually topped with a little bit of olive oil and some bread. I mean, come on.
Offer it right up, right
That's
then
right.
and there. So that's awesome. And then a couple other chefs will be joining the group. There'll be, I believe, a chocolatier. Which will be really fun. And then I believe
Lux chocolate?
Lux chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
To say Lux chocolate.
Lux chocolate. So that's
They're beautiful
happening.
chocolates.
Absolutely gorgeous, and you know, can't wait to try some. And then all of this preceding this very, very wonderful meal prepared by Chef Jose Gutierrez of River Oaks,
who's a celebrated French chef here. He's won awards from the French people as one of the best chefs in America, French chefs working in America. The man can put a beautiful plate of food together. He knows what he's doing.
And the man is beautiful, so there's that too. So Chef Jose, I'm a huge fan, is a master chef.
Master chef.
He's also a resident of Germantown, so that's really fun to have him involved. And he's co-chairing the event with Germantown Mayor Mike Palazzolo. So
cool.
Just bringing it
all. I know
all
Mike from Rhodes. Rhodes is one of my photography clients, my oldest photography client, and he was there for a long time.
Absolutely, a man of many talents as
talents.
well.
We all got to do more than one thing.
Got to do more than one thing. So from what I know, and I'm not just the party planner, it's going to be a heck of a party.
It's going to be a heck of a party.
We're
doing something crazy. Do you want to know what we're doing?
I do.
So I'm going to see if I can find it here. We take carrots and we make them into strips, and we actually present them in a way that looks like smoked salmon. And it's really no joke. It's such a beautiful dish.
Oh my goodness. Smoked salmon that's not really smoked salmon, it's carrots.
It's not smoked salmon, it's carrots.
All right, y'all. $250 a ticket, GPAC's biggest fundraiser of the year. Call the box office or me to get tickets if you want to try that and not have to make it yourself. Justin will teach you how. Thank you so much, Justin.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was good chatting.
It's time to wrap up this episode. I'd like to thank my guests for being here and you, the viewer, for joining us on Entertaining Germantown. If you'd like to watch this or other shows on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. I hope you'll join us when Entertaining Germantown returns next month.